And hello everybody, welcome back to episode number 181 of the CheckX series. If you're new here, as I say every single day, the CheckX series is pretty much all about me, your host Ivan, discussing absolutely everything that Elon talked about on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, the day before. Today we're going to discuss what he talked about yesterday on Friday, Saturday, June 5th, 2026. He posted just about 57 times yesterday, and we're pretty much just going to get right into the episode here, not to keep this intro rolling too long and waste your guys' time. Starting off, not as we usually do, but recently have been starting a new feud, I guess you could say. Starting off with SpaceX and Starlink. Starting off this segment, Elon discussed the upcoming development of Starlink V3 satellites in late 2026, which will offer 10 times the bandwidth per satellite and 20 times bandwidth per launch compared to V2 as well. There we go. And also, by lowering the satellite altitude to 350 kilometers above the Earth, the physics of light travel will allow for minimum latency of less than 5 milliseconds. Also, Elon highlighted that Fidelity is opening the SpaceX IPO to retail customers, with accounts of $2,000 or more, significantly lowering the previous $500,000 threshold. And last but not least, Elon also emphasized that the future of energy is solar or star power, he also said, and noted that harassing and noted that harnessing energy in space could scale to 1 million times Earth's current economy while still using a fraction of the sun's output. Moving on to artificial intelligence, or AI, and mostly about Grok as well. Pretty interesting on the last segment, though. Quite a bit of stuff about SpaceX IPO. But starting off this segment, Elon posted about Grok's half-trillion parameter model improvements and its new support for woke trees, which allow parallel agents to run in their own workspaces. Also, Elon noted that Grok reached the -- spot for AI apps on the Apple Store. Very cool. And also, Elon agreed with predictions that within years, users will be able to prompt Grok to create historically accurate movies. That sounds interesting. And last but not least, Elon also reposted claims that the Biden administration discouraged the creation of AI companies by telling founders they would not be allowed to succeed. And moving on to election integrity and voting. Starting off this segment, Elon criticized the Senate's rejection of the SAVE Act, which aimed to require photo IDs for voting, calling the failure corruption and a traitorous level of incompetence. Also, Elon expressed suspicion over voter fraud in California, specifically referencing a report of 26 registered voters listed at a single portable toilet in an empty parking lot in Venice. What? I guess, man. Okay. And last but not least, Elon highlighted a drop of 24,000 ballots, where a specific candidate, which is Spencer Pat, received 0 votes, stating that officials are not even trying to hide the fraud anymore. Yikes. And to wrap it up with social and cultural issues here, starting off this segment, Elon called it madness and insanity that New York is moving to replace the terms mother and father with gestating or G-stating parent and non-G-stating parent. This is stupid. This is so stupid. What is going on? And also, Elon questioned why teachers discuss sexuality with 12-year-olds and why children are encouraged to undergo gender-affirming surgeries, calling for an end to gender ideology madness. What is going on? Gosh, dude. And also, Elon reposted allegations that the Southern Poverty Law Center, or the SPLC, which we've talked about before, is a criminal organization. He also said that yesterday that reportedly funded and founded, possibly, I'm not 100% sure, the KKK activities and fabricated narratives of right-wing extremism. And last but not least for this crazy to an end of an episode, Elon shared a critique suggesting that university degrees are a massive misallocation of capital, given that large language models can now provide similar skills literally for free, practically. And that was a weird, minute part of the episode. But ladies and gentlemen, like I said, this pretty much wraps up this episode number 181 of the CheckX series. If you made it all the way to the end, I appreciate you for watching. I'm dropping a like, commenting, and subscribing if you haven't already. Also recommend going back and watching some of the other recent CheckX episodes just to get a nice little sequence of events going for you based on what you says on Twitter every single day. Because at the end of the day, this is the CheckX series. I'm your host, Ivan, and I will see you later.